Hey traders, checking in on the stock market today. Bulls started the morning in control, and then midday Biden news about a potential proposed tax hike led to a big drop and volatility. Does that change the bullish outlook that we had just yesterday? And I'll go over a little bit of a story where I had some market premonition while I was away from the computer today. So here's SPY on the 5-minute time frame. We can see how fast things can change in this market, which is why we need to be prepared with stop losses and always have our eyes on the news. And today the news came out that potentially Biden going to be looking to hike taxes for those that make over $1 million a year up to 40% and I believe it doesn't matter long term or short term. And really I look at that headline and say, welcome to the world of a day trader. Our rates are almost that high already. But in my opinion, this is definitely a shock factor for news, but it's nowhere near imminent. This is a long road as far as what hurdles would have to be accomplished to see this kind of legislation pass. So an initial knee-jerk reaction, but again, nothing that's imminent in my opinion, and we'll have to keep an eye on it from here. So what does that do with SPY? Pretty much just puts it to the low of yesterday. So we went from yesterday with bulls back in complete control, and now today, well, we might be in for weekly consolidation again. Pretty much the consolidation of a couple days put us right on the edge of weekly consolidation starting, and now we're right back on that edge. So I will still be looking for a weekly higher low if the bears do follow through from here. You can see we dumped, bounced, and then had a 15-minute tightening range to end the day, but the bears with a little bit of an edge on that 15-minute tightening range with how we closed. So we can very easily break 410.59 and start weekly consolidation, and that's the most important short-term level for me to determine is weekly consolidation underway or not. And QQQ is the same thing, pretty much daily inside bar today compared to yesterday. And again, if we break that low of 337.97, we zoom out and we look for a weekly higher low with tons of space for it to form. So I don't think this is a market shattering development. If it were to pass further down the road, it would definitely have some major implications. But as far as the short term is concerned, just going to see how many headlines does it get? How much does the media spin it? How much fear is derived from this headline? And tomorrow will be very telling if we break the lows of this week to start weekly consolidation or not. IWM. So IWM rejected from our resistance 226.69, 226, and we topped out today 225.33. So still keeping these lower highs. And again, just keep it simple. Every bull move is setting a lower high still at this point. So we'll be looking back down at the recent low of 215.24 as key support. And the best case for the bulls would be to hold that low and then break these 226s. And of course, if we break that low, the bears keep their complete control. XLF, the financial sector, daily inside bar. So pretty wild back and forth the last 3 days. We dump on Tuesday, we bounce big on Wednesday, and now we're pulling back to the lows here on Thursday. Actually, not close to the lows. But if the inside bar breaks bearish, we're looking right back at those lows. So a back and forth ride on XLF and watching the 4-hour time frame for clarity in that tightening range. Bulls need to hold 34.42 to try and stay in that 4-hour tightening range. XLV. So we're due for daily consolidation. We hit a new all-time high today, though not by much, and plenty of space for a daily higher low to form. We'll be watching first hourly oversold conditions if we get there, but we're still in a pattern of a higher low every day for a long time. And looks like we had a bear break there by 6 pennies, but we're in that pattern for at least 7 days now. Bears have to break 122.40 for daily consolidation to begin. And XLV bulls are the most comfortable because they have the most space to work with to maintain the uptrend. XBI, beautiful follow through. So what helped soften the blow today was the fact that XBI went up. And in the video yesterday, I talked about how I exited partial of my SQQQ position. I didn't exit all my bear position because, again, in instances like this, you can have complete control for the bulls one moment, and then just like that, it changes. So I kept 60% of that position, and the fact that that position went up and XBI was green meant that my portfolio was just fine today, even with that big drop, which is good because I was away from the computer when it happened, and I'll talk about that at the end here. But the biotech sector got what we wanted, at least the start in terms of breaking out from this falling wedge. And this is how we scout trades. And if you've been watching the last 2 weeks, we scouted the Tesla bull move and got huge follow through. And now we scouted the XBI move. And we were a couple days early as far as, okay, now we're paying close attention and maybe this is it. And some small losses stopping out. I probably had some small Tesla losses stopping out before that bull move over 708 and 718. But the point is, when you're stalking a daily setup, really, if it executes and follows through, you need one trade a week. And if that's the trade that gets the follow through, that's all you need. So for XBI, bull break of the falling wedge, daily lower highs have broken. And at this point, I did exit partial position today to lock in some profit. I exited 30% of my swing. I'll talk about everything I did today at the end of the video. But what that does now is, from my entry in the 128s, exiting 30%, my break even is now pretty much at the low. So if I wanted to say, okay, there's my attempt for a monthly high or low, I can stick my stop under 125.90 and either nail the monthly high or low if bulls see follow through, or stop out with no loss, which is a very comfortable place to be. What we will need for follow through, if this is going to be our monthly high or low, is an eventual daily confirmed trend change, which again, we have not seen since the all-time high. But this is the most convincing bull move in the past few weeks. And even with the dump today in the broader market, we're in an hourly uptrend. We would have to fail the high of today tomorrow and then lose the hourly uptrend for daily consolidation to then be underway. And that is why I trimmed a little bit of my swing position, locking in some of those profits. SMH gave it all back. Pretty much the identical day to yesterday, but opposite. So we broke the high of yesterday by 7 pennies, and then we dumped, but we held the low of yesterday. Well, we broke it by 3 pennies. Pretty much the exact same range. But again, back to square one, where weekly consolidation is underway. And yesterday I was talking about the potential that this is a weekly bull flag. If this low breaks of make that 240, 145, the odds of a weekly bull flag decrease significantly, and we'll just continue watching this little daily lower high and lower low pattern. So that key short-term support is in play. We're either going to gap down tomorrow or see a notably higher open, in my opinion. And those are going to be two very different scenarios. I have no idea, and I'm speaking about the broader market now, not just SMH. I have no idea which is going to happen, which is why I have to prepare for either scenario with what my swing exposure is. TAN, bulls, great follow through with the gap up and a strong move, but anything under 94.24 is just a lower high. So while XBI today broke those lower highs, TAN 94.24 still has the key level, and we can stay within this tightening range for another week plus. But a great bounce off the low, 81 all the way up to 89, a 10% move in 2 days. So we started this morning seeing great follow through in all of our laggard sectors that we were watching yesterday. MJ was green, XBI had a beautiful day, TAN had a great day, and now we're just watching, okay, is this going to derail what was starting to shape up as exactly what bulls wanted to see? And obviously it's no longer exactly what bulls want to see with that big upper wick. And still an hourly uptrend. We'll see if the bulls are able to maintain it. That's after hours. I was going to say, we didn't close that close to the high. What's going on after hours? Not much. Slightly up. After that, we got TAN MSOS. So MSOS, daily bounce got a little bit of follow through, but the daily EMA 12, the daily downtrend, and I added some position yesterday once the hourly higher low was established. And then I stopped out of that position for a tiny loss. And again, with MSOS, I'm going to constantly keep an eye on it, but I'm going to be very patient, agile, and play with small positions. When we confirm daily trend changes, I will add to positions, but this is a perfect example. Okay, bulls showing up. There's a little bit of a shift in the air. I'm going to enter. Yesterday, I scaled into a 25% position and then just scaled out with a tiny loss today, what I call a taco loss. I'm going to eat tacos later. That's a tangent. And bulls have a ton of proving today to do. So I'm going to quickly exit positions until I get some proof from the bulls. So back to the sidelines. And again, just in and out. That's pretty much how I've played it the last 2 weeks. There's been a couple times I've jumped in. Small wins, tiny losses. Really uneventful. but just keeping an eye on it. The VIX. So, bull move, hourly. Looking for a higher low. Broke the high of 1970 from the other day. So, definitely getting an uptrend now with our low, high of the bounce, quick little daily higher low. Trying to see a higher high. And we definitely dumped with all of our major sectors at the low of the day at the same time in reaction to this news. Question is, does it happen again? Do we see that happen tomorrow, which would be very convincing bear follow through if all major sectors hit the low of the day again tomorrow? The dollar. So the dollar daily bounce, still a potential bear flag, but we are watching for anything under 91.83 to be a lower high. EMA resistance coming back into play. And as far as the 4 hour is concerned, losing a bit of clarity for the dollar. Might go to the 6 hour here. That's a bit more clear. So 6 hour resistance was 91.43. We double topped at that level. So low, high, higher low, double top. And to try and negate the daily bear flag, have to get over that double top resistance. Metals were hit by the dump here. So again, let's look at one. Not very significantly. We were already consolidating with the dollar bouncing. Some bear volume picking up. I'm watching these channels now on the metals, which are nice and clear. 4 hour time frame, rejecting from resistance, bouncing off support. And when this channel breaks, it will be notable to me to be watching for the potential of weekly consolidation. But as of right now, the daily uptrend remains. Daily bull flag confirmed, not a ton of follow through, but essentially a daily inside bar today. Certainly could have been worse. Let's see if the bulls can maintain that 4 hour uptrend. Silver's the same deal. Inside bar giving back a lot of yesterday's big bull move, but we do have a nice 4 hour uptrending resistance line that rejected the price, and we've got an uptrending support line to be paying attention to as well. You could also draw it as a bit of a rising wedge. If you pinched these lines, you could draw a channel or a rising wedge. But either way, bulls keeping an uptrend for now. I'll be watching silver for a 4 hour lower high next bounce. And the bears would need to confirm a 4 hour downtrend to shift momentum in their favor in the short term. Miners, after the big bull day yesterday, giving it back. Key short-term support, 35.59. And a day of metals consolidating and then the S&P 500 dumping, definitely hurting the bulls. We'll watch for an hourly lower high to be the result of the next bounce in the miners. Oil. A little bit of a bounce trying to take place today. If we're going to see a convincing weekly lower high set, we need to lose the daily uptrend. And we're still in a daily uptrend. So we would need to fail the recent high and confirm a daily downtrend for a convincing weekly lower high to be set and to have us looking back at the low of 57.29. And last, nat gas, USD. Daily bull flag confirmed. New most important support for me is 265. Back testing and holding EMA support into continuation. Next major level after 277, we're looking up at 2965. Monthly higher low continuing to shape up. And again, the shift in momentum, I can't stress enough how many times natural gas has done it on the 4 hour, the daily, and now the weekly. Confirming bear flags with no follow through means look in the other direction. Because it happens quite a bit. And same thing with confirming bull flags and lack of follow through, meaning looking bearish. We did it here. And then we did it here. Okay, so today, had a great start to the morning. Traded Tesla in both directions in the first 20 minutes of trading. Nice little 75% day maker. And was just watching QQQ for the bulls to show up. And it was QQQ hitting first 5-minute oversold conditions after the big bull day yesterday. So that had me looking for Tesla to bounce. So uneventful just as far as those trades, just some little scalps. But QQQ being in 5-minute oversold is why I was looking at Tesla as a bull initially. So nice little wins there. And then saw the XBI follow through. Great. Looking good. MSOS was green. I left the computer at 11:45 a.m. and I wasn't going to be back until 2 p.m. At that point in time, account doing well, all-time highs, and I was up at that point between day trading and swing trading, maybe a day and a half maker. After a solid day yesterday, which was a 3.5 day maker, thanks to XBI. But then I went and got a massage. And when I came out of my massage at 1:45, I got into my car, started pulling out of the parking lot. And I swear I had a premonition, and I just had this vision of the stock market dumping. And then I started going through my head saying, what would be the news that would cause the stock market to dump? And I'm just driving home right now and came and sat back down at my computer, and everything refreshed and uploaded and came out of sleep mode, and the price just updated, and it doesn't show all the candles. It just picks up where the price is, and I have to refresh the chart, but it just showed the huge gap and then trading down here. So it was very eerie and strange, but without a doubt, I envisioned the market dumping, which is not something I normally do, and then that was happening. And when I sat down, it was the bottom. I literally sat down at the computer right here. And I then had another gut instinct, and knowing that I just had that premonition, I said, all right, I'm going with my gut. And I just started going more aggressive buying this dip than I have gone in as long as I can remember. There was a 1 minute inverse head and shoulders. Again, I use the 1 minute time frame when things are really volatile and there's a lot of volume. I saw this 1 minute head and shoulders. I saw this convincing QQQ bull volume, and I loaded this 2 minutes. And then we confirmed it, and I wasn't quite confident until right here. But I went in with bigger positions. Again, it was, I don't know the last time I went this large. And why I went this large was, number one, just a gut instinct, but number two, my risk was low. I'm playing that is our low. So if I am loading this 1 minute consolidation, I will exit everything on a break of 334. So I'm risking, maybe 70 cents. And I just instantly started buying XBI. I doubled my XBI position from my swing. And then this is more QQQ than I've probably ever had in my life. And the average was maybe, 70s, 334 70s. And again, 70 cent risk. If we stop out, and I probably would have given back maybe a day maker or two if that would have happened. So then I watched and let this play out. Normally, I'm instantly starting to take profit on a very large position, but I wanted to give this a chance to play out. This 1 minute failure to break 35.30 and then bear break here caused me to sell 25% of my position at break even. To be okay, little too exposed. Bulls, I definitely wanted to just see a lot of very convincing follow through. That made me a little more cautious. But then, of course, I was very relieved on that move. Exited half of what I had left on the break of 336, and then put a stop loss under a little level in the 335.50s that was on the 2 minute time frame at that point in time. So that was a nice trade. And as far as XBI is concerned, let's see, entry was 133.22. And that was very close to the bottom, and I exited that in the 134s, mid 134s. And then I went back to my normal swing size position, and then into the end of the day, I thought, okay, well, overnight, still got my 60% SQQQ, but I don't want to have too exposure to the bullish side because I have no idea which direction we're going to go overnight tonight. So I want to go as close to my portfolio being a break-even balance as opposed to leaning bull or bear. So I sold 30% of my XBI swing, and now I'm a lot more level and starting tomorrow with more of a clean slate. So it was a very strange day. Starting with the premonition and then me going so aggressive is unusual. Again, the stops were nearby, which is the only reason that I'm not reprimanding myself for doing that. But it was the kind of thing where I didn't even pull up. I saw what the headline was to cause the dump, but as soon as that happened, I closed everything. I even closed Slack down. I wasn't looking at the chat room or anything, and I was just completely focused on this trade to try and make it a big winner. It ended up being a decent winner. The price obviously didn't go up huge on QQQ, so I made a couple day winner on that very aggressive bounce, but was positioning for the potential of a really big winner if the bounce got really big follow through. But odd day. Glad to be back to a clean slate psychologically to start tomorrow and see what we get. Going to continue watching coin lower high every single day. I want it to get as extended to the downside as possible so that when the scales tilt from supply of shares to demand of shares, we see a V-shaped recovery of an easy 10-20%. But I have no interest playing this name long as every single day is a lower high. Can't have a more bearish pattern than that. So that is my guide. Break the pattern of a lower high every day. I'll be interested in a long position, and I'll just put my stop under the all-time low at that point and give it a go. And I'll probably only be risking the profit that I made trading it on IPO day. But obviously I have no idea what the setup will be or what the risk reward will be. We'll take it one day at a time and see what we get. So I hope you had a good day out there. And weekly consolidation on SPY and QQQ, or bulls hold this double bottom and everything's just fine tomorrow. We'll see what overnight gives us. I appreciate you tuning in. Nice initial success for our laggard names following through. And even then, I'm still pleased with how XBI held up on the market dump. But we are going to be watching the hourly uptrend and the needed daily trend change. Feel free to ask any questions, and we'll see you soon. And do good things. Is that your monk? Yeah, monkey? Give me that. You fish. Like a bucket bronco.